Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing, checking back in with y'all, man. What's going on? So I was checking out Jermell Charlo's interview on the Last Stand podcast, man. Shout out to Brian Custer. Probably top 3 in the game. My favorite guy doing these interviews because he asks just the perfect questions. He gets the fighters to open up and talk real candid, about anything with the sport of boxing, man, and even able to touch on some of their personal things and just really gives the fans a lot of insight on these guys, man. And shout out to Brian Cuss, he does a great job. But this was a very, very good interview, very insightful, very entertaining because it's Jermell Charlo. His energy is always on 1,000, and he gives it to you, straight up at least how he feels. He speaks from the heart, so you could always appreciate that from a guy, even though sometimes you might not agree with some of the things. You gotta respect the fact that a guy giving it to you off the cuff and it's really him, it's genuine. So he said one thing about Brian Custer had asked him about guys moving up to 154, in particular Danny Garcia. We spoke on this before with Danny Garcia talking about he wants to go to 154, saying that he feel like he can beat Jermell Charlo. He just want to get his feet wet, and then he'll go after Jermell Charlo. He's saying that, pretty much the guys that, there's really no talent at 154, and he feel like he'll be able to go to 154 and compete with the top dog immediately, which is absolutely false in my opinion. And Jermell Charlo also touched on this as well, something that I've been conveying to y'all over time, saying that 154 guys have L's because everybody's fighting. You know what I'm saying? If you have a division, look at lightweight. We look at 135 and we say, oh, Devin Haney's the best. No, Telefimo's the best. No, Tank's the best. No, Ryan Garcia is the best. What do these guys have in common? They all undefeated and ain't none of them fought each other. You know what I'm saying? So how can you say that's the best division if you ain't even seen these motherfuckers fight? You don't even know who the best. The difference between that and 154, these dudes fight. So you know who the best. You know Jermell Charlo. You seen the road that he had to take to get where he at today. And he finna fight Undisputed July 17 versus another undefeated fighter, Brian Castano. Brian Castano just beat champion Patrick Teixeira in a very entertaining fight. Brian Castano fought Lara, took a L, came back, bounced back. Now he a champion. Jermell Charlo was a WBC champion for a while, lost to Tony Harrison, went back, got his shit back, then fought Jason Rosario, who took the titles from Julian J. Rock Williams, who took the titles from undefeated unified champion Jarrett Hurd in his hometown. These guys fighting. You know what I'm saying? So that's why 154 is the most competitive division in the sport of boxing, in my opinion. And Jermell Charlo basically said, look, man, hey, if you really think you about that shit, then come jump in this water, man. It's deep over here. It's deep in these waters. Come jump in this water and see if you can swim. You know what I mean? We got real killers over here. Let's see what you about. You talking like you really about that shit? Come up to 154 and show me. You know what I'm saying? And he said, basically, I don't think nobody can come to 154 and fuck with me. And you know what? I wholeheartedly agree with Jermell Charlo. Now, they also talked about, Earl the True Spence Jr. Moving up to 154 at some point and wanting to compete for the titles. Jermell Charlo was adamant about saying that he's not really interested in fighting a stablemate. They both got the same coach. You know what I'm saying? He said me and Derrick James rocking to the end, so it's not going to be a case where I'm going to not fight with Derrick James and try to fight my stablemate. You know what I'm saying? So he said that if it came to that, he'll either vacate the belts or some of the belts so Earl can get one and then they can domain there together, or he said he'll just move up. You know what I'm saying? And outside of Earl Spence Jr., even though, let's say, they didn't have the same coach. Well, I mean, that'll kind of change things with Jermell Charlo because I love what he's done with Derrick James. But, you know, if Earl Spence wasn't a stable mate and he went up to 154, I'm siding with Jermell Charlo as far as the favorite to win that fight. Just being honest with you. I don't think nobody right now can go to 154 from 147 and fuck with Jermell Charlo. I just don't see it. He's the best fighter in that division. I think he's just the overall more skilled guy, and he just got the size. He's a perfect 154 pounder. He got the size, he got the power, he got the punch resistance, he got the skills. It's literally like just how Marvin Hagler was at 160, his body type and his physique and his skill set, everything. He was just perfect for middleweight. He was perfect. It was easy for him to make the weight. He was always in shape year round. He was perfect for that division. That's how I feel with Jermell Charlo. Kind of like how Terry Norris was, but I think Jermell Charlo has the potential to be even better because his chin and defense is better than Terry Norris. You know what I'm saying? But he's perfect for that division. So when these guys are coming up, and they fighting a real true 154 pounder, a guy that's perfect. You ain't got to worry about him struggling to make weight. And then when he come into the ring on fight night, he gonna be big and strong. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't see none of these guys going up to 154 and being able to fuck with Jermell Charlo. I just think he's going to be too much for these guys. And one of the best things that happened to him, as he would say himself, is that loss to Tony Harrison. It showed him something that it gave him a feeling that he don't want to feel no more. I think he learned a lot from that loss. He learned how fickle the boxing world is, the fans and the media. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was just something that really worked well for him in his favor and made him a stronger fighter mentally and made him just a better fighter overall. It made him work even harder. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, Jermell Charlo is the king at 154, and I believe that, you know, he's going to be in a tough fight with Brian Castano as long as it lasts, but he will come out on top and he'll be undisputed champion. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's going to be a great fight, a fantastic fight. It's going to be underrated because I think that fight going to be better and more entertaining and more competitive than a lot of people think it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? But I do believe that Jermell Charlo will come out on top. And I would love to see him stay at 154 and defend his undisputed title, his undisputed championship crown, you know, for a few fights, man, before he moves up. So, you know, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. How did y'all feel about Jermell Charlo's interview, his comments on, you know, saying that nobody can come to 154 and fuck with him? I agree with him. I don't see nobody at 147 right now coming up to 154 being able to fuck with him. When you take everything into account, the skills, the size, everything, you know what I'm saying? The experience, I just don't see nobody being able to fuck with Jermell Charlo. So y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.